Hello kids, Shubhamangalam Ecological Scholar, myself Sukdeep. I'll be taking up class 8 physics for today. So we will continue with the lesson number 3, synthetic fibers and plastics. So in the previous video, we were discussing the differences between natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Natural fibers are obtained from plant and animal resources, while synthetic fibers are man-made or they are derived from raw products such as petrochemicals. And how do you make synthetic fibers? They are nothing but chain-like structures. What are these chain-like structures called as class? Polymers. What are polymers made up of? They are made up of monomers. So group of these polymers are attached to each other to make a proper synthetic fiber. What does the word polymer mean? Poly means many, more means unit. So many of these similar units are going to be joined together, just like we join paper clips to form a paper clip pattern. So these polymers are going to have a same pattern as that of a beads or beads necklace or a paper clip pattern, and we are going to join one group of polymer to the other group of polymers, but you need to keep in your mind that they have to be similar for one kind of fabric or one kind of synthetic fiber. Okay, so now what else were we discussing? We also learned about a burning test that helps us to know whether the fiber is natural fiber or synthetic fiber. If the yarn is going to smell like burning hair, then it is wool or silk. If it is going to smell like burning paper, then it is cotton or rayon. If it is going to melt as soon as you keep the yarn over the flame, then that is nothing but nylon or acrylic. These are two kinds of synthetic fibers that we are going, two types or two examples of synthetic fibers that we will discuss today. So basically we will discuss about nylon today. So here I have written nylon over here. Let's start. Nylon is the foremost example of synthetic fiber that we are going to study. As I've told you that people have started switching from natural fiber to synthetic fiber because of its endless advantages. So what were the few advantages we were discussing? It is lustrous. What do you mean by lustrous? Soft, shiny. The synthetic fabric is not going to lose its shine very soon when compared to silk or cotton fabrics. Now, it does not need maintenance also. It can be hand washed or also machine washed, whereas, natural fibers need to be dry cleaned, or, they need to be washed separately and not with the other household clothes. So now we were studying about synthetic fibers. The foremost thing that we will study is about nylon. So nylon is made up of cold water and air under certain pressure and conditions. Okay, it involves certain chemicals also. Those chemicals that nylon involves, those chemicals which are involved in making the nylon fiber are called as polyamides. Okay, I've written it for you. They are called as polyamides. Also, you need to remember that the manufacture of nylon, as soon as it started during the Second World War, it got so famous, it got so prominent that it started replacing silk. Silk is such an expensive fabric and it is so well known, but people started switching to nylon because it was so, cost efficient when compared to silk, and it was much better. Okay, and it was long lasting, so people started switching from silk to nylon. And what are the products used for making nylon over here? It is cold water or air. The raw materials or the chemicals which are needed to make nylon are called as polyamides. So there are three kinds of chemicals that we need to discuss over here. It is monomers, hexamethylene diamine, and adipic acid. Okay, all these three are going to get mixed up, and the solid chips of these chemicals will be melted. Do you understand? So for example, this is these are nothing but solid chips. They are made up of certain chemicals. Now these chemicals are nothing but the monomers, hexamethylene diamine, and adipic acid, a mixture of these three chemicals. So basically these are polyamide solid chips. So what am I going to do with these solid ingredients over here? I'm going to melt them, and the melted form of these solid chips will be inserted into a spinneret. Okay, now how does the spinneret look like? The spinneret looks like your bathroom shower. Have you ever seen the bathroom shower? It has tiny holes and from which water flows out. Yes or no? The spinneret has a similar lookout. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to melt these solid chips. Okay, these are nothing but solid chips of the polyamides that we were discussing. And what were the three kinds of polyamides we were discussing? It is monomers, hexamethylene diamine, and adipic acid. Solid chips of these polyamides are going to be taken and they are going to be melted. The molten form will be inserted into the spinneret. Once the molten form is inserted into the spinneret, and once the spinneret starts working, the resultant product that you are going to get from these tiny holes is going to be threads, fine threads of nylon. Did you understand? What did I do over here? Solid chips of these polyamides were melted at a certain temperature. The molten form of these polyamides is then inserted into the spinneret. How does the spinneret look like? It looks like the bathroom shower. It has really tiny holes in it. Once I insert it into the spinneret and the spinneret starts working, the resultant product which is coming out of the holes is nothing but fine threads of nylon fiber. Do you understand? Now, there can be various types of spinnerets where the size of the hole can differ. What does this mean? If I have a spinneret of a bigger hole size of a if I have a spinneret which has bigger holes in it, then this means it is going to give me nylon fibers which are much more thicker than what I'm actually showing you here. Do you understand? The same thing happens with this savia and all also. They are going to make a dough of the savia and they are going to put it into a machine which is going to be run, and whatever the resulting product you get is actually coming out of small tiny holes, and what you get is nothing but the thin savia sticks that you will be using to make savia during Eid and all. So also with the noodles, there is a certain machine, the noodle maker. You're going to make the noodle dough and insert it into the noodle making machine, and you're going to remove the wheel and axle combination. Okay, once you move the wheel and axle combination, what is going to happen? The noodles are going to come out of tiny holes on the other end. Okay, the same principle is being applied over here. What are we doing? We're inserting the molten solid chips, molten polyamide mixture into the spinneret, and once the spinneret starts working, what is coming out of the holes? Fine threads of nylon. These fine threads of nylon will later be twisted and combined together to form the nylon yarn, and that nylon yarn will be reeled or manufactured or sent to reeling centers where the wefting and warping is going to take place, and they are going to make the nylon products, the nylon garments, and so on. Okay, so for now you need to understand what is something very important to understand over here is that the solid chips are made up of polyamides. And what are the polyamides we are discussing over here? They are monomers, they are hexamethylene diamine, and there is adipic acid. Okay, now we need to discuss some uses of nylon and some pros and some cons. Okay, now what could be some pros of nylon? The thing is, it is really strong. It is going to be really strong because it is made up of such kind of such kind of chemicals which have a very strong bond between them. So they are going to be very, very strong. Now if I take a cotton fabric and I take a nylon fabric, the cotton fabric, if I apply even a little bit of strength of mine, it is going to get torn into pieces. But nylon, if I keep trying how much ever I want to, it is not going to tear very soon, and it is not going to tear at all. Also, as I told you earlier, they are too shiny, they are long lasting, they are cost efficient. Something else that we should also know is that one of the disadvantages or consequences of having nylon material is that it easily catches fire. You cannot wear a nylon sari and go near campfires and start playing with the fire over there, because it is readily going to catch fire. It is highly inflammable. Why is it inflammable? Because it is made up of petroleum products. Do you understand? It is made up of petrochemicals. It is made up of polyamides which are very receptible to fire, which are very receptible to combustion. So it catches fire very easily. Do you understand? Never take a nylon cloth to help any person who is meeting with a fire accident. Never take a nylon cloth and wrap it up, because you will also catch fire then. Always, cover him with a blanket. So here, now, what else do you need to know is that, for example, once you wake up during winter mornings and you are, pushing off your blanket from your body, you hear some crackling noise. Yes or no? We have studied about this earlier also in much less detail, but right now you need to understand, like somebody who's wearing the nylon material also is going to feel some crackling noises when they are going to remove it off or change into some other clothes. Now, why is the cracking noise coming because while you are using the nylon material? Because there are certain static charges in fabrics also. Okay, now when one fabric rubs to another fabric, they create some amount of static electricity. The crackling sound or the crackling noise that you are hearing when you're wearing a nylon fiber or while you're rubbing the nylon fabric to some other fabric or to your body, then it is nothing but some initiation of some charge of initiation of some static charge or some static electricity. That is because I told you right now that fabrics have charges in them. When they are rubbed with each other, they give rise to a certain amount of static electricity, which will definitely not be like your current electricity, but it is going to produce a certain amount of crackling sound or noise. Like sound or noise is the result of that, is a result, and it proves that there is some static electricity happening in your clothes. Okay, it is not harmful at all. That there is, don't believe that there is current running in your clothes or something like that. It is a very minute and bearable charge which is present in fabrics. So that was one point that I wanted to tell you. Also, yeah, we discussed the uses of nylon and we discussed the static electricity. I have mentioned few products over here where nylon is being used to make all these products. The toothbrush bristles. Do you know the toothbrush, the hair-like structure on those? It is made up of nylon. You know it. You knew it today. If you knew it before, well and good. But today, if you know it also, it is like beginning of a new knowledge over here. The toothbrush bristles. The hair-like structures on the toothbrush are made up of nylon. Okay, the ropes. Somebody who's going for hiking or rock climbing, they use nylon ropes with them because they're very strong and durable, and they don't break off very easily, and they can manage the weight very easily while you're climbing the rock. So now the okay, next is the fishing nets. Earlier, traditional fishermen, really old in olden days, fishermen used to use cotton nets. But the bigger fish, they were smart enough and they used to bite off the net. So what did people started using after a certain period of time when they found out about nylon, when they invented nylon, they started making nylon net. So these nylon nets were used by fishermen to catch big fishes, and the fishes, how much ever smart they were not able to cut the nylon nets now because it was very, very strong. Okay, so now there's tents also. People who go for camping and all, they carry tents with them. So those tents are made up of nylon. Also, it does not absorb water very quickly. You need to remember this point that nylon is not going to absorb water very quickly. You wash it and you keep it for drying, it dries up very quick when compared to any other material like woolen or polyester. So now, saris and stockings. Saris, we have discussed about nylon saris, how much better they are when compared to cotton. It is like a daily wear sari when compared to all the silk and the heavy work saris. Then you have stockings. Stockings is like leggings. Okay, it's like fishnet leggings. Now you have socks, curtains, carpets. Now it is also used in making parachutes. What are parachutes? Like the hot air balloon, or some people do skydiving. So they carry parachutes with them, and as soon as they are jumping off the plane with the parachute, whatever they are using is actually made up of nylon. Why do you think they are using nylon parachutes? Now, after jumping from that particular altitude or height, definitely the wind or the breeze is going to be really, really high, and it has the power to even go through the nets and make a hole in it if it is a very thin one. That is why they prefer using nylon parachutes, which are very, very thick, so that the wind which is blowing in that particular area is not able to break off their parachute. Do you understand? So that's one big reason that people are using parachutes which are made up of nylon and not cotton. What happens if you use cotton parachutes? They're going to break very easily. Okay, and it is going to be very, very light. So, and it is going to take too many layers of cotton to bring one cotton parachute when compared to nylon parachutes. It is just going to take few layers of nylon to make one parachute, so that it is a thick one, and it is also never going to make a hole. Very few incidents you might have seen that parachutes have made hole and they just fall down. Depends on the brand also of what kind of nylon are you using. Are you using a good quality nylon or not? Okay, so that is what we came to understand by now. Let's check how strong nylon is. Now let's discuss an activity that tells us how strong is nylon. So here, what do we have over here? We have a stand where we have attached a pan with the help of a suspended thread, and we are just placing some weights on this pan. Now this particular thread, one by one you are going to change it. First you are going to place a cotton thread, and then you are going to place a silk one, then the woolen one, then the nylon one. Now you need to understand what am I talking over here. We have a stand over here. We have a pan which is suspended with the help of a cotton thread initially. Okay, this particular thread which is holding the pan is made up of cotton, and I'm going to put some weights on the pan. Why am I doing this? So that I understand at what particular weight the cotton thread is going to break. Okay, initially I start with 10 grams. I put 10 grams, I put 20 grams, and what do I observe? That the cotton thread broke. Do you understand? So cotton is a very delicate fiber. So total weight in grams or kg when the thread broke, it is how much class? It is on page number 35. Okay, this particular activity is on page number 35. So the total weight in grams or kg at which the cotton thread broke is nothing but 20 grams over here, because cotton was very delicate. Next, what do I take after cotton over here? I am going to take a silk thread. Fine. The same experiment, I am going to repeat it with the silk thread. I have the stand again. I am going to suspend the pan with the help of a thread, and that thread is made up of silk. This means the silk thread is used to hold the pan over here. And what do I do again? I keep adding weights. Once I keep adding weights, I add 10 grams again, 20 again, 30 again. And what do I see? Like the silk thread breaks. Do you understand? So silk was a little stronger than cotton, but it was also delicate. Okay, it was not as strong as much as I desired it to be strong. So what do I do the third time? I take the third natural fiber that is given in the table over here. It is wool. Okay, I'm going to take a woolen thread. Fine. So what do? I repeat the same experiment, suspend the pan with the help of a woolen thread this time. Now it is the woolen thread which is holding the pan over here, and I keep adding weights. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. At 100 grams it starts breaking. Okay, it starts showing me finer threads. So at 100 grams, for example, it started breaking and the pan falls down. Now, next I am going to use the fourth thread over here. Of which material is the fourth thread made up of? Nylon. Okay, so in the fourth case, I am going to take the nylon thread. Now the pan is being held with the help of a nylon thread, and I keep adding weights. I add initially about 50 grams, the thread did not break. 100 grams, the thread is not breaking. 200, 500. Okay, when I keep something very, very high, because you can see it is a very thin thread over here. Maybe across 600 or something, the thread broke. Do you understand? So when I compare all these materials over here, what can I conclude? Which one is the strongest material that I can use to hold some weight? What do you think? The strongest material that I can use to hold any kind of weight is nothing but nylon. Okay, if you want durability and if you want to attach a very heavy weight to a certain amount of thread or rope, you are going to opt using nylon threads instead of using cotton or silk threads. Do you understand? Now, why am I not using cotton, silk and wool over here? Because they were not as strong as nylon. What happened in the nylon case? I kept on adding weight to a certain limit and it was able to bear that. Okay, if this was a thicker thread, maybe it would be able to hold even 2 or 5 kgs. Do you understand? Now this was a thinner thread. It was a thin nylon thread. It was able to bear around 600 grams. If it was a thick, rope, nylon rope that I was using, do you think the pan would ever break down? No. Do you think the pan is ever going to fall down if I use a nylon rope over here? It is going to take lots of time. It is going to take lots of weight also for the nylon rope to break from that end. It is almost like might not be happening at all, because the nylon ropes are very, very strong. They require too much weight and too much strength to pull them apart. So what do you conclude from this activity? We conclude that nylon is a very strong very strong material when compared to the other natural fibers. So this was one of the advantage of the synthetic fiber over the natural fibers over here. So this was one more reason that people opted for using nylon for ropes and parachutes, and many other like tents and carpets, because it was very very strong when compared to other natural fibers. Definitely people are going to take something much more stronger, which is going to be a one time investment, rather than taking something which is going to break again and again. Do you understand? So like this, what do we conclude from this activity? That nylon is a stronger material, is a stronger fiber when compared to the other natural fibers. So what were the other characteristics we studied? It is shiny, it is lustrous. Shiny and lustrous are almost the same, they're synonyms. So it is durable, it is easy to wash, it is strong, available, cost efficient, or cheap. What were the disadvantages that we studied over here? It catches fire. Okay, that was the biggest disadvantage. Also, it produces a certain amount of electricity that is almost negligible. It is okay if it is producing a certain amount of static charge. It is not producing so much charge that you can run a bulb or something like that. It is never going to happen like that. That is bearable, that is normal, that is like negligible. What is the one big disadvantage or drawback is nothing but that easily catches fire. It is highly inflammable because it is made up of chemicals like polyamides or petrochemicals, which are inflammable. Basically, inflammable is something that catches fire readily. So that's all for this class. So next video we will study about rayon. Sakshi, if you wanted to note down, please note down the Sakshi for this video. The classwork is page number 34 and 35 done, and homework is read same as classwork. I am reading it out. Maybe you will not be able to see such tiny letters over here. Classwork is page 34, 35 done. And homework is, I would like you to read whatever was taught in this class today. You need to start from nylon and how is it made, what all chemicals are used in making it, what are polyamides, what is a spinneret, and how is the spinneret going to work. Also, why do you wear an apron while you're cooking or working near fire? So that the fire is also that if you're cooking near oil or something, you definitely don't want the hot oil to fall on your body, right? So that, or on your clothes. So that is why you're wearing an apron over there. So and what else do we have? Apron basically. And also we have also studied the uses and whereabouts, and wherever the nylon cloth is going to be used. I had mentioned a list of materials where nylon is being used, from toothbrush bristles to carpets, tents, parachutes, ropes for rock climbers and all. Also, let me look if I've missed any point for today. Hopefully not. Okay, everything is done class for these. And also please go through this activity and try to understand why is nylon stronger than the other natural fibers. Please note down the Sakshi. Thank you for today.